to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant failing to maintain a single lane and swerving between lanes without signaling. Upon the traffic stop, officers observed slurred speech and glassy bloodshot eyes. The defendant on his own immediately stated, "You're going to make me walk the line, aren't you?" Defendant admitted to drinking a glass of wine and taking a Valium. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN, 5 out of 8 walk and turn, 3 out of 4 one-leg stand. DIC was read and defendant consented to blood draw.
We look to see if he has any prior DWIs, please. Valid Texas driver license. Mr. Cameron, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Are you going to allow me to speak?
What did you want to say?
In my defense.
I don't want you to talk about the case now. I've got a bunch of DAs here, and everything that you say, they can use it against you.
Absolutely.
Now it's not.
And I have nothing to hide, sir. I'm leaving the country. I have to leave the country to teach Bible and English in Ukraine on Monday. I've been planning this for months.
I'm not putting a travel restriction on you. I'm just ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
I haven't. I had 2 lens replacements that week, sir.
From now on, while this case is open, you are not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication.
I don't anyway.
Well, then it shouldn't be a problem. Alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be randomly
I
tested.
haven't.
How long are you planning on being out of town?
7 months until May.
This is going to be an issue. When are you leaving?
Monday.
You need to hire a lawyer. You need to talk to a lawyer about this so we can work something out. But you now have an open criminal case. You can't take off for just 7 months. It's not going. It can't happen. It's going to be an issue.
Half of the things that officer said was a lie.
That's why we have trials.
Okay.
You know, that's why I get it. There's always 2 sides to a story. I understand. The evidence will point to whose side is correct. I don't know. I wasn't there.
May I ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
When does the blood work come in?
It takes a couple months. You have to understand that we live in a city of around 3 million people. On average, I probably have around a couple hundred DWIs that I'm working every week. In those, nearly every one of those is a blood test. So they are just overwhelmed with the amount of blood tests that they're working at any given time. So basically you get in line and then it just, when it's your turn, that's when they do it.
I had 4 ounces of wine.
Let's not talk, please. Everything you say, they're going to sit there and they're going to type it
Absolutely,
against
I'm
you.
ready.
Don't. Now's not the time. You need a lawyer to represent you. What
I will be my own lawyer, sir.
Would you perform open heart surgery on yourself? And let me tell you this.
I have nothing to hide.
Let me tell you this. If you're going to represent yourself, I'm going to require your presence here every month to go through discovery. Whereas if you have a lawyer, I waive appearances, right? Just, you can't represent yourself and be gone for 7 months. It don't work like that. So if you hire a lawyer, I will waive your appearance.
I can do this by remote.
You can't. Your lawyer can't. If you represent yourself, I require your appearance here.
All right, sir. You're talking about a public defender if one is appointed for me?
You have to qualify. I don't give out public defenders like it's candy on Halloween. You have to qualify. If you have an income and you meet the federal poverty guideline, then we will appoint you a lawyer. But if you don't qualify, then you have to go hire a lawyer. But once you do hire a lawyer, I waive appearances so you don't have to waste your time coming to court. And then at that point, your case will be put off around 4 months, give or take. And then when the evidence comes in, that's when we start working the case. But you have to understand that we randomly call people to take a drug and alcohol test. And if you don't show up, we issue warrants. So that could be an issue. So that's why you need a lawyer to represent you.
Can I say something about the Valium?
No. What you say now will do nothing as to whether there's probable cause, whether it's going to get dismissed, whether this or that. It has nothing to do with it. And you're only hurting yourself. Nothing you can say right now will make it to where the case gets dismissed, it just doesn't.
Okay, Judge.
I'm doing that to help you, believe it or
Yes,
not.
sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
we have a lot of people that come in here and they just want to run gun, just let's go now. Unfortunately, the law works at a snail's pace. And I know that it infuriates about 90% of the people, but that's just the way it goes.
And you're
I
right.
didn't invent it. I just try to
All right, sir.
micromanage.
In regard to the defendant's license, we see that he appears to have an out-of-state California license that is suspended in the case, except in the case of employment. So it appears to be an out-of-state occupational license.
License, I'm going to bar you from driving as well, sir. No. And I'm going to tell you now, if you have an occupational license in California, you've now picked up a DWI. Once they get wind of that, it's very possible they revoke that license as well. If he has an occupational license, it's got to be because of a DWI. Why else?
Can
Just
I
don't
speak?
say, no, don't. It's going downhill real quick. Don't. Now's not the time. You need a lawyer. When do you leave on Monday?
7 a.m. from McAllen.
Oh, to McAllen.
No, from McAllen to Warsaw. Train to Kiev.
What I would do is get on it quick today to see about hiring a lawyer,
Okay.
and then they can appear on your behalf on Monday, and we can work through the logistics. Don't just take off, because I'm telling you, if you just take off, I'm going to issue a warrant, and the next time you ever try to get on a plane, they're going to arrest you, and it's going to be, you'll sit in custody for months. It is a potential incredibly big headache.
So what does the lawyer need to do on Monday?
You need to have a lawyer. The lawyer needs to come, file paperwork to represent you, and then we can talk about how to work the logistics with the case.
And we got to do that before 7 a.m. when the plane takes off?
Well, no. I mean, we don't start court till 9 o'clock. So, hopefully, if you hire a lawyer this weekend, they can try to get a hold of us through email, and perhaps we can work on it through the weekend, But
Okay.
you got to get on it
I'll
quick.
get on it.
Because lawyers don't work on the weekends, and it's already Friday, and I can tell you, not many lawyers work very hard on Friday.
One more question, please.
Sure.
Even if it's used against me, can I explain the California license revoked?
Don't.
All right.
Just really, I know that you want to, it's just now's not the time.
Okay.
What we do is we usually give around 30-day resets for people to hire a lawyer, but I'm advising you to do it,
Okay.
you know.
Tell me where to go right now.
Okay. So you're showing he has a suspended license for sure, right?
That's what it shows on our end, Your Honor. Suspended except for that employment
Okay,
exception.
I'm going to have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. You sign the reset with Victoria. We'll have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions that you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Understand, I don't care where you are. I know that you're going to Poland or wherever. You can't consume alcohol.
And you don't want me to drive from now?
Well, you have to follow the law. If you don't have a license, you're not allowed to drive.
Okay. All right, sir. All right, sir. All right.
Judge, were you saying to put it on Monday?
Well, he's gone Monday.
Okay,
I would just say a 30-day reset and then just, have a lawyer as quick as you can. Theoretically, you don't have to. You could be out of town and still get with the lawyer, and the lawyer can come. We just need to
No,
know before the next setting.
Yes, sir.
Because if you're not here or it's someone here on your behalf by the next setting and you don't appear,
Yes, sir.
people don't appear when you revoke bonds.
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
How much money do you make a month?
I would say that
Be honest.
I just started with Tomball ISD, so I have barely worked a month, maybe 800.
How do you support yourself?
I have been working. I'm a retired teacher out of California, and so I have retirement. but I'm trying to come on to Tomball to add to my retirement.
So you earn a monthly stipend as
Yes,
a
sir.
part of your retirement?
Yes, sir.
And how much money do you make from that a month?
About plus Social Security,
All in, all,
about 5,000 a month, plus the 800 that I just made.
see a prior DWI.
I didn't see anything when I ran this criminal history, Judge. I can try again if you'd like.
How many people are in your household? Who do you live with?
I'm living currently with my sister.
You're not married. You don't have children.
I am going through a divorce. My wife and son are in California.
So let's do this. I'll have you come sign this. I'll have you sign the reset. I'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. We'll set you off a month. Just be careful out there.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Judge, we're keeping the random stars.
Yes, it's a problem.
Since he's going out of town, he says that he won't sign for doing this.
Well, then I'm going to put you in jail then.
How do I
You don't have children.
I am going through a divorce. My wife and son are in California.
So let's do this. I'll have you come sign this. I'll have you sign the reset. I'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. We'll set you off a month. Just be careful out there.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Judge, we're keeping the random stars.
Yes, it's a problem.
Since he's going out of town, he says that he won't sign for doing this.
Well, then I'm going to put you in jail then.
How do I report
You need a
the random
lawyer.
drug test?
You need a lawyer so we can work out the logistics. But what we normally do.
We'll take care of this.
What we normally do when people are out of town, we have them tested at Quest Diagnostics. You going to Warsaw for 7 months, it's going to be a humongous problem. I don't know how we're going to do this. That's why you need a lawyer so we can figure out the logistics, because I'm not going to take your word for it that you're not going to go over there and not drink. It's why it's a problem. But if you're not going to sign for the conditions, I'm going to revoke your bond. You know?
So you're advising me to go ahead and sign and the lawyer will.
Well, every person that picks up a DWI, we do the same exact thing. We order the same conditions.
Okay.
Okay. Serenity now.
Serenity now! Serenity now!
He's not getting a hired attorney, correct? Or, sorry, he's getting a hired attorney on his own behalf, right?
He's going, right.
No, I'm getting a public defender.
You make $5,800 a month, sir.
Yeah.
That doesn't, you
Okay.
have an income of $5,800 a month. That's not federal poverty guidelines. Sorry, but
Okay, sir.
I have to follow the law.
All right. So.
Yes, this is.
When people do that to me, your sorry goes in this ear and it goes that ear, because I know you will continue to act the way you want to act.
I know how serious this is. I know. That's why I tried to contact.
I am so upset with you right now, where you think you can do whatever you want to do when you have 2 open DWIs. And I told you there was absolutely no tolerance. And here you go, I'm going to do whatever I want. Don't work like that, Mr. La Bomba. If you have things that you need to do, you need to ask for permission first. We don't know where you are. We don't know what you're doing. you just take off and do what you want to do. And it's been like this since the beginning. So I guess we have not gotten your attention enough.
I tried, I sent an email to my probation officer to ask.
You don't have a probation officer. You have bond conditions that you are supposed to live up to. Not,
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
you know well and good what you can and cannot do. You have 2 open DWIs. And I don't want you out at night. And you are still doing whatever you want to do.
I'm not.
It goes with you. No,
I'm not.
you are.
back.
Again? I'm not. I asked for permission. I'm sorry. I swear to
They
God,
don't
I'm not.
have authority to give you permission to do
I
anything.
didn't know. I didn't know.
Then you call your lawyer, you come up here, but you don't do things after the fact. You violate and then ask for
I asked for permission before I went to the meeting. I did. I swear to God, I did. And she didn't respond to me till after the meeting. And I told her if I had known,
You
I
were
would.
talking to the wrong person, Mr. Lubumba.
Didn't know.
You knew that this was strict compliance with 2 open DWIs.
I'm sorry, Judge.
What's with you?
This one. Oh my God. And
Mr. Butte, we'll talk. Don't go far. How do we reach the person who does whatever they want to do? You know, therein lies the question, you know? You got your first DWI. We told you, look, this is how you act. This is what you do. Going so much as to tell you that, you know, every day someone dies from a DWI in our great county. Every flipping day. Let you out. Just, no, pick up another DWI. Now we have to micromanage your life, right? Because you scare me a lot more. All I'm asking you to do is I don't want you to consume alcohol. I don't want you to drive, and I don't want you to go out in the middle of the night. I give you these conditions for a reason, not for shites and giggles. You know what I mean?
yes.
And now, so how do we go forward?
I can promise you I was not gonna go to the meeting if I had gotten a response back before the meeting.
You've already promised me 2 times before.
This one, when I got the email back the day after I'd already gone, I told her if she had emailed me back before the meeting, I was not gonna go because I'm not playing around
I mean,
with this.
but did you email the day before your meeting?
I did.
That is about these people are busy and you work and you're sending email to county employees. Do you really think someone is going to email you within a couple hours to the next day to respond to you? Do you really think that if you were to reach out to anyone here, they're going to respond to you in a timely fashion? You have to consider how many thousands upon thousands of emails people here get a day. Victoria, how many emails do you get a day?
Oh, at least 100, no joke.
You're emailing pretrial services where they have about 2,000 to 4,000 people that they manage. Well, I mean, probably 2 on a daily basis, where they're hundreds upon hundreds. So for you to think that they're actually respond to you, I don't believe you. I think that what you did was that, you know what, I'm going to send an email just so that I CYA and I'm going to go do what I want to do. That's basically what I think.
No, I don't. I'm not messing. I'm not playing with this. I am not playing around with this. I'm taking it very serious, sir. Very serious. I'm very.
There is no act and ask for forgiveness later. We don't subscribe by that theory. We don't. There's no acting like a little child begging for forgiveness later. Okay, Dad, I'm sorry. You know, I won't. That's what my child does. My child will do stuff Come on, bud, don't do it. Dad, I did it again. Oh, come on, I told you. When people do that to me, your sorry goes in this ear and it goes that out that ear, because I know you will continue to act the way you want to act. I don't know, Will. I'm just,
He showed me proof of the meeting. He is trying to get another job, so he could work from home because he can't drive anymore. He was 48 minutes late. And in the email, I guess he thought he would get an email response within 24 hours or so. He emailed that morning. The meeting wasn't until late that night, the next day. So when I spoke with him,
I understand that it's not the most egregious error. I understand that. I get it. But a condition is a condition. And the problem is that if we let you go, what does that tell you?
I know how serious this is. I know. That's why I tried to contact.
The last thing that I want to do is be an enabler. The last thing I want to do is act in a way where it tells you that it's okay for you to do what you're doing without consequence. Because one of the biggest things that I like to teach here, because, in a way I think of myself like a father to everyone. I like to teach, right? And I want everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what color they are, no matter what they're doing in their life, I want them to leave better. And I want to impart that you have to always think of consequence. Because 90% of the people that come here have no self-control and react without thinking of consequence. And it's a shame, because if you did, we would have such a harmonious life. I mean, we wouldn't have the death and destruction we have on our roads. We wouldn't have the killing that happens here on a daily basis. What does he have on his ankle now?
I guess he's.
Do you have a scram and a GPS monitor?
Yes, Judge. Like I said, Judge, I speak with him often. He has been taking this really seriously. He calls and asks questions all the time. He just didn't call me and ask me about this one. He thought someone else was taking care of that, and he just made a bad mistake.
Don't do it again. If you need help, I'm willing to help you, Mr. Lubumba. I routinely give people here more time if they need it. I really do. And all I want you to do is think. That's all I want. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we regret. Crap, my mouth gets me into so much trouble you cannot even believe. I will continue your supervision. Just please don't, okay? If you ever need anything else, just come back, let us know. We can help you. If you need more time for work or whatever, don't ask for forgiveness after the fact. Just come back here first. Contrary to popular belief, we're not that bad, really. All we want is our public to be safe, and if How many of those charges have you gotten a court-appointed lawyer on?
All of them.
I guess that's why you consider this a joke. Mr. Thomas, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement. They're offering you 3 days in jail credit for the 9 days that you've done. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Just working.
Where?
I work for a temp agency.
How much money do you make a month?
Anywhere between 1,500.
One of the things that I don't want you to think is that this is a joke. And we give you a lawyer in an effort to try to help you out. Because we understand that you have issues, that you may have, not the best job out there. And so here in the court system, we try to do everything possible to try to help out as many as we can for the short time that we have here. And when you continually refuse to abide by bond conditions, and when you refuse to communicate with your lawyer, that tells us that you just don't give a rat's behind about us, about the charge, that you think it's a joke, when it's not. It's a serious, serious charge. And here you are working your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, now 16th charge. How many of those charges have you gotten a court-appointed lawyer on?
All of them.
I guess that's why you consider this a joke, because we continue to give you things. If I give my child something, they don't take care of it. But if I make them work for it and I make them, hey, you got to pay for this, chances are they will treat it a lot better. You give them a car, how are they going to treat it versus if you make them work for it? You will be required to pay the surcharges in this case. I will pay for the court-appointed lawyer. I will pay your court costs, but you will be required to pay the fines and fees and surcharges to DPS. And I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. And I hope in the future, moving forward, that you truly appreciate this, because with your record, if you were ever in a car and you smell like alcohol or dope, what do you think is going to happen? What we're doing today, from now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. So if I were you, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, a spliff, don't get into a car because you're begging for issues. And I truly hope that you appreciate this, because like I said, from now on, you're looking at a lot of time. And due on your priors here now, it's a minimum of 90 days in jail. You understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this or undo this. Do you understand? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Was this a 0.15 or above, or was it just? Okay. All right, sir. I'll have you see the clerk. All right. Are you Keith Alexander Taylor Turner?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with failure to stop and give information.
I did.
I'm trying to tell you what you're charged with. Please don't say anything. You're charged with failure to stop and give information. This is a Class B misdemeanor. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Okay.
On October 26, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a Shell gas station on Friar Road in reference to a failure to stop and give information. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with the complainant, who advised that he was struck on the back left panel by the defendant's motor vehicle. The complainant advised the driver, the defendant, did not make any attempt to stop until he pulled next to him and advised him of the situation. That is when they pulled into the Shell gas station, and the complainant advised the officer that the defendant denied hitting his vehicle, did not want to cooperate by providing information, and said the defendant was resistant to giving his name. When the complainant advised the defendant that cops were on their way, the defendant responded saying, "I'm going to get my tacos here and I'm leaving. I don't have to give you shit." Before the defendant left, the complainant captured a photo of the defendant, his vehicle's license plate, and his vehicle. The complainant estimates the total cost of repair to be approximately $5,000.
Okay. Mr. Taylor Turner, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir? Run his license, please.
Yes, Your Honor. It's eligible.
I also see a prior evading arrest in a motor vehicle as well. The bond was set at $800,000. Any particular reason why? Something dangerous happened?
Let's see, Your Honor.
That's crazy high for a evading. What happened?
It says that
Dead body?
there was somebody trapped inside a vehicle that had to be transported to Katy Memorial Hospital to be checked out using Harris County Rescue EMS. So, Your Honor, so in the evading case, it was that he was fleeing. He was going and he hit a tree after attempting to hit emergency vehicles, and then upon hitting the tree, I believe a pack passenger was trapped in the vehicle and had to be transported to medical.
Do you have liability insurance in your name, Mr. Turner?
Yeah,
Mr.
my
Taylor
insurance
Turner?
already said they're gonna take care of it.
Okay, I'm just asking you have liability insurance in your name. How old are you, sir?
28.
What do you do for a living?
I don't work right now. I'm looking for a job.
When is the last time you've had a job?
A couple months ago.
What were you doing?
I was working at Walmart
Why'd you stop?
because I moved.
So what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Work.
Did you graduate from high school?
Got my GED.
Okay. You got to do something.
I know.
You know, you're 28. You've got no prospects. You got nowhere going. You got kids? How many kids you got?
2.
Oof. Really? You going to give me attitude?
No.
So what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Work.
Did you graduate from high school?
Got my GED.
Okay. You got to do something.
I know.
You know, you're 28. You've got no prospects. You got nowhere going. You got kids? How many kids you got?
2.
Oof. Really? You going to give me attitude?
No.
I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. You're to come right back. If you fail to take a drug test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to make your bond so high you'll have teeth falling out. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Take a seat for me.
I know what he pointed. Oh, that way, in the jury box.
It was Taylor, right?
Yes, that's Mr. Keith Taylor Turner. Character.
You've got like a fire in you, right? If you channeled that in a great way into like school and try to do something like doctor, lawyer, dude, the world is in your palm. If you do something, go to school, get some knowledge, man, you could be so great with that fire that you have into you. Channel it in a good way. You can do anything. Dude's not been working for how long? 4 months?
Yeah, I got an interview. I was supposed to have one today, but I knew this was gonna take forever, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Your kids
At
still need to
Amazon.
eat, man.
Oh, they take care of it. I get my stuff taken care of.
You're supposed to take care of them, not someone else.
I pay child support. I haven't seen her in 10 years. So I don't know, tell you, she in another state.
I'm trying to tell you to do something worthwhile. Set lofty goals, man.
Got a job to interview tomorrow.
No more weed. I will test you again in 40 days from today. If you test positive for marijuana again, I'm going to lock you up. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, don't smoke anymore. Don't come in here saying that you're in a car, everybody's hotboxing and whatnot, or you're at a party, this, that. Don't. Just stop using. Just do something great with your life. That's all we want. We want what's best for you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. We've given you a lawyer. You have to stay in touch with her. She'll tell you when you have to come back to court. She tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games. Likewise, I'll issue a warrant for your arrest. You will not get any more PR bonds. So all I'm trying to do,
I never had one. It's okay.
You have one for this case.
not one now.
I paid $100 for that
He paid a bond. Was it a $100
last week.
PR bond?
Last week. Or is it born today?
Hold on, let's,
I paid some last week.
he'll find out.
Yeah, it was a 2B. That's right.
Ah,
What happened was normally when someone gets arrested, we get them in jail, we give them a free bond. But because yours was an arrest warrant that was issued after the fact and you've been gone, that's why you had to post a bond to get out.
okay.
So, but what I'm letting you know is that there are no more PR bonds here. So if you pick up a new case, you start acting a fool, into jail you will go and the bond goes high. It's not no more $100, $200, or 5, 10, 15,000. So just be careful.
I know mine was 1.6 million. I know.
Okay.
Have any questions?
No, sir. Yes, sir, you don't.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
The judge said 40 days.
Your attitude toward me right now, Mr. Alexander, it really, really sucks. You have an air of arrogance. Good morning, Mr. Alexander. So you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to your attitude you have the right to remain toward me right now, Mr. Alexander, against you. It really, really sucks. You have an air of arrogance. Good morning. Have an attorney present if you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
2024, officers were dispatched to 11-910 Chetman Drive in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, the mother of the defendant, told the officers that her 11-year-old son, the second complainant, was riding his bike down the street when he passed the defendant. Complainant 2 and the defendant know each other. When they passed, the defendant began insulting the son, and the defendant pulled what appeared to be a tan handgun from his waistband and pointed at the second complainant while making remarks about shooting him. After the second complainant told his family about what happened, they went to look for the defendant and confronted him. The defendant reached into his waistband again, but the complainant's family was able to wrestle the gun away, which turned out to be a BB gun. The officers noted that the BB gun appeared to be very similar to a real gun in appearance.
Mr. Alexander, are you here with anyone today? Who are you here with? Go grab her, please. Go grab your mom.
Are you mom?
Yes.
Come on up.
Come on up, Mom.
Good morning.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
Did you hear everything that happened?
Some of it, I couldn't hear all of it.
Let's hear it again. Okay, do you mind, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks.
On September 23rd, officers were dispatched to 11910 Chapman Drive in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, the mother of the 13-year-old boy, told the officers that her son was riding down the street riding his bike when the son passed the defendant. The complainant and the defendant know each other, and when they passed, the defendant began insulting the son, and the defendant pulled what appeared to be a tan handgun from his waistband and pointed it at the complainant while making remarks about shooting him. After the complainant told his family about what happened, they went to look for the defendant and confronted him. The defendant reached into the waistband again, but the complainant's family was able to wrestle away the gun, which turned out to be a BB gun. The officers noted the BB gun appeared to be very similar to a real gun in appearance.
But he's not charged with aggravated assault. You know, they could charge you with a very serious offense where you're looking at serious time in prison. You're lucky they didn't, Mr. Alexander. How old are you, sir? You're 18. What do you do with yourself these days? Spit the gum out, man.
You chewing gum?
Your attitude toward me right now, Mr. Alexander, it really, really sucks. You have an air of arrogance on you. Either that or... Has he been with you all morning?
I'm sorry?
Has he been with you all morning?
Yes.
If I drug test you right now, what's going to show up, Mr. Alexander? What's going to show up? I'm sending him for a drug and alcohol test right now. I'd like to know what, if anything, is in his system. We have to... I don't even know what to say, but all I know...
I mean, you brought me out here, so do I have permission to speak?
Absolutely.
Okay, so respectfully, I would submit that these are the alleged charges. There is extenuating circumstances, and the report from the complainant is actually not accurate. That family has actually made verbal and written threats to my son, and we have proof of that. So while I understand that these sound quite egregious, it is not the whole story.
I understand. And I know that there's always two sides to a story. I get it. And you will have the opportunity. But within the first 5 minutes that I've met him, his behavior towards me, his demeanor, the way he looks, just...
That's anxiety. He's standing in the courtroom. He's standing in the courtroom for the first time. And he doesn't have his attorney. He doesn't have an attorney yet. And this is a process that's foreign to him. So what I would, implore from you is don't take his demeanor as disrespect. He is anxious. He's been anxious all morning. He has been with me all morning, and he doesn't really know what to say. So I understand that you're getting a first impression from him, but he is still a very young adult, and this is his first experience in a courtroom.
Right. I agree with you. Mr. Alexander, what you need to understand is that you're 18. You've got this bag of money on your neck, and this life is but a very, very short. Look at me. Look at me. This life is a very short one, and it can be a very happy life, or it can be a rotten, miserable existence of a life. What you do now will dictate the next 40 to 50 years of your life. You work hard now at 18 to 20 to 30 to maybe 40 so that you're not working like a dog when you're 70 to 80 and you can actually have a life and retire. This, by picking up criminal cases at 18, you're moving backwards. How far did you even make it in high school?
He's uncomfortable talking to me, asking me to answer something.
I want you to answer. I want to get to know you, Mr. Alexander. I want to know what's, sorry?
Said 11th grade, Your
He said
Honor.
11th grade.
You need an education, Mr. Alexander. If you're going to do anything in this life, you need an education. I want to do everything I can to help you out. Okay? I really do. If he's smoking weed, it stops today. Okay? I'm going to drug test him right now because I want to know what, if anything, is in his system. If he tests positive, then I'm going to test him again in 40 days, give or take. The marijuana stops now. And I want him to get back in school. He either needs to be in school full-time or get a full-time job so that he's not running in the streets. Mr. Alexander, I am also making it a condition of your bond that you're not allowed to have any kind of weapons whatsoever for any reason. I can give you a lawyer to try to help you out as much as I can, and I will waive all your fees so you won't be responsible for any cost for anything.
Thank you.
All I want is him to be as productive and as good of a person as he can be. And starting out with criminal cases at 18 and to where he can't even talk to me, we need to change that.
If I just make a comment about the bond conditions.
Sure, of course.
I called the complainant's mother in this case a few days ago and kind of spoke to her about what happened. And I learned that there is a history between this family and the defendant. Back in the summer, this defendant stole a gun out of the complainant's house. He asked to enter the house under the guise that his mother had kicked him out, went into one of the complainant's uncle's bedrooms and stole a gun. He FaceTimed the complainant's uncle a few days later, flashing the gun, telling them that he was going to come hit up the house while flashing the gun at him. They used to walk to the same bus stop. They used to come out of the same bus stop, the complainant and this defendant. The complainant is terrified of the defendant. We've asked for no contact. We've also asked for GPS monitoring because of that. They don't attend the same school, but they were I guess they were stopping at the same bus stop. Now the complainant asks that his uncle walks into the school bus every day because he is so scared of the defendant. And as I think is mentioned in the PC statement, the complainant in this case is 13 years old.
Was there a police report filed for that incident?
There was. I have the incident number.
For that one you're referring to about the gun?
Yes, where the gun was stolen.
What happened? They didn't follow it up. They didn't call the police. They didn't, theft of a firearm is a very serious felony.
According to the complainant's mother, they filed a report. She provided me with an incident number.
How long ago was this?
This was she said July. It was in July. I can attempt to follow up with the responding agency. I'm not sure if it was the sheriff's office or not, but I mean, either way, there is like a history between these two families. And the complainant and his mother are both in fear of the defendant.
So, Mr. Alexander.
I would again submit that this family lives around the corner from us. We have never been approached. He lives at home with me. In July, we actually were in Panama for his 18th birthday. We weren't even home. There was never a time he was kicked out of my house.
Were you out in Panama the entire month?
We were out in Panama from July 10th until the beginning of August, yes. So
well, that's not the entire month.
Well, most of the month, excuse me. And in addition to that, no one has come to investigate anything at my house.
Okay, so Mr. Alexander, I'm issuing a protective order over this child, this other kid. You're not allowed to have contact with this person or go within 200 feet of where they live or where they work. Do you understand, sir? You're not allowed to be in possession of weapons. You're not allowed to have any kind of threatening or harassing behavior with this child. If they call back and they say that you have harassed them, then I will revoke the bond and I'm going to put you in jail. And I'm going to tell you now, I will not give you any more PR bonds. So all I'm asking you to do is stay away. No one is finding you guilty now. We're just asking that you guys separate and don't have any contact. That's it. I am going to put an ankle monitor so I know that you're not going anywhere near their house. But like I said, I'll cover the cost of anything, so it won't cost you guys anything. You must charge this thing on a daily basis, Mr. Alexander. If you don't charge it, the battery goes dead, then we will file a motion to revoke. Not a motion to revoke, but I'll revoke the bond. So as it stands now, what we'll do is I will send you now for a drug test. We're going to have you come back. I want to know what, if anything, is in it. And then I will provide you between now and then a lawyer, and we'll go from there. Do you have any other questions?
That family is in possession of my bicycle, not his, it's mine. They actually stole that from him. You know, I would like my bike back.
There's proper channels to do it. I don't know how, but as it stands now, he can't go over there, can't have any contact with them whatsoever. You know, and I would venture to guess that if you go over there as well, it's probably going to be even more bad blood. So
No, I don't have any.
perhaps you can find someone else, like another intermediary, that can go over there and try to get a bike back. But at this point, just don't have any contact with them. And when you come back, then we'll have you speak to someone. Okay. All right. I'm going to have you sign a Go ahead.
Today.
Correct. Yes. Mr. Alexander, I want you to either get a job or get into school full time. But when you have too much time on your hands, you become self-destructive. Your brain craves activity. It needs activity. And when you don't challenge yourself with either school or a job or anything, then bad things are they're just gonna come and happen. You have to occupy your life. You have to do something. Where we're headed now, you're going the opposite way of how you should be doing things. This is not a good way to start at 18. All right, please. Can you file a protective order, please, on the child? Thanks. All we want are streets to be safe. And if you want to get lit, great. Just hit one small button on your phone that gets you a car ready to take you anywhere you want to go for 20 bucks. It's a geographical oddity. Man, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement that they're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. It's important because if you ever get pulled over in a car and you have the smell of alcohol, officers will look, they'll see this. What do you think they're going to do to you if they smell alcohol? Right. What we're doing today, from now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. So if I were you, even if you had a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car because you can be facing a lot of time. Do you understand? You still want to do this? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen or a possible immigration consequence, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, like I said, you can never change this. You sure you want to do this? Why not the intervention program to get it dismissed?
She had I think it was an evading back into 23, and previous her blood alcohol was like 0.29. It was way up there. She didn't want to have to go through all the medication.
Wait, she's a prior DWI? Prior DWI?
No, like evading. Back in 2023, she's already got a criminal record. I talked to her about that.
32.
Yourself now.
I work.
Doing what?
I work at Burns Barbecue, it's a barbecue place.
So no, you don't want to try to get this thing dismissed, huh? All right, ma'am. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. What kind of money do you make?
I'm making, I get paid every week.
How much do you make a month? Maybe 5.
I'm here, Judge. She got me.
Yeah, that's the question is how did she get a court-appointed lawyer? Because you shouldn't have qualified for an appointed lawyer. You sure you want to do this? Why not the intervention program to get it dismissed?
She had I think it was an evading back in 2023, and previous, her blood alcohol was like 0.29. It was way up there. She didn't want to have to go through other medications.
Wait, she has a prior DWI? A prior DWI?
No, evading. Back in 2023, she's already got a criminal record. I talked to her about that.
32.
Yourself now.
I work.
Doing what?
I work at Burns Barbecue, it's a barbecue place.
So no, you don't want to try to get this thing dismissed, huh? All right, ma'am. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. What kind of money do you make?
I get paid every week.
How much do you make a month? Maybe 5.
I'm here, Judge. She got me.
Yeah, that's the question is how did she get a court-appointed lawyer? Because you shouldn't have qualified for an appointed lawyer.
Can you fill out the financial affidavit?
I had 2 jobs at the time. I was working as well.
So you have 2 jobs?
Well, I had 2 at the time.
So you don't have
Now,
the same?
no, I only have 1.
Because the judge is like.
How long have you been working at the place?
10 years, since 2014.
You don't have children?
No.
In order to pay the fines and fees, man, you know, I mean.
For DPS purposes or, I mean.
You're going to be required to pay the fines and fees, man. You don't qualify. You didn't even qualify for him. Put something completely different on the affidavit.
No, I had 2 jobs at the time.
So you make even more money.
No, I had 2 at the time. I filled out the paper at the time. Now I don't.
You don't have to.
10 years. You're making $5,000 a month.
No,
Don't say it.
it's not actually how much it is.
Well, you just told the
That's
judge that right now you're making $3,000 with 1 job.
No.
Okay, well, that's what you just told him. How much do you make now? That's what he asked you. Okay, you just told
I only
him.
make like $200 and some after taxes, like 3. It's no more
You
than
mean
$300 a week. Yeah, $300 a week.
So why did you
What's
tell him
that?
$3,000 a month a while ago? That's what he's concerned about. Judge, I think we have a
I mean, after you
miscommunication. You make
round it off,
$300
like
a week.
$2, so
No, hold on. You make $300 a week. Times 4, that's about $1,200 a month.
I just want the truth.
I can show you check stubs.
I asked you how much you made.
I
You
think
said,
she was
$4,000, $3,000 to $4,000 a month. You know,
talking about a week now. You were thinking about a week. So you make $300 a week.
John, I'm
Can
not.
I get proof and come back and revisit it, Judge? Because can I get proof and come back and revisit it? Let's do that.
Right.
Open my purse.
Yeah, she says she has proof in her purse, so let me look at it and then I'll come right back. And then before we go.
Take your time.
Judge, she was confused. She was thinking that you were talking about on a weekly basis. I have her check stub. She makes $300 a week. So she makes about $1,200 a month. She has to pay rent, which is about $400 or $500. She lives with her sister, her food,
How do you?
transportation. She was thinking, I don't know, she said she was nervous, she wasn't thinking straight, but here is her pay voucher, I guess. So, I mean, that's the sure thing. You can take a look.
You don't ask for much. All we want our streets to be safe. And if you continue to pick up DWIs, you're either going to end up in jail, prison, or you can end up dead. The reason I ask you these questions now is because one of the things that you have to do when you pick up a DWI is you have a lot of fines and fees. One of the things that you are required to pay is a DPS surcharge. That surcharge is $3,000. If it's above a 0.15, it's $6,000. That's why I'm asking these questions to see if you are indigent or not. And if you're indigent, more than likely what I do is if there are no issues, then I waive the fines and fees and surcharges and the court costs. But you're telling me that you make $3,000 to $4,000, and then when I say, oh, about $5,000, you shake your head, yes. So which one is it? How am I supposed to know? So I have a big issue because now I don't know what to believe. The only thing I'm going to tell you is this. I will give you the benefit of the doubt today, but I'm not going to do it again. On a second DWI, your surcharges will amount to around $7,000. So if you are not smart enough to consider how to get home like a little child, we will put you on our knee and spank you like a little child. But we do it with a ton of jail time and a humongous financial hit. Do you understand? All we want are streets to be safe. And if you want to get lit, great. Just hit one small button on your phone that gets you a car ready to take you anywhere you want to go for $20. It's a geographical oddity. Understand? Good luck.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, John.
Why do I look like a Tony Hawk American Wasteland character? Well, it's because when we were doing our Twilight movie marathon like a year ago, a buddy of mine named Ridley had this shirt and he gave it to me and I thought it was cool. And then today, a friend of mine let me have this Shadow the Hedgehog chain. And I thought the two of these together was one of the most diabolical fits I could put together, so that's why I'm in this ensemble. But it's also like perfectly matching today's video because the vibe is right on the money for crypto bro degeneracy. So the big story today is about the